Vevekuve. This one is a real Vevekuve matter. Tinubu and the North. So there's Farouk Perogi. He had this to say, and so he did an article talking about ZANGA, that's protest, and Tinubu's crumbling Northern Alliance. You know, this 10 days of the 10 days of protests that were declared, where citizens came out to put forth their displeasure at the bad governance that happened, and also to put out their voices on the fact that they were suffering, they were going through so much, there was hunger in the land, and people just couldn't feed, people were dying, and there was so much bad governance, and the government just seemed to be insensitive to what was going on, and all that they were focused on really was mostly, you know, just spending money the way that they want to, and all of those things happening. So Kperogi had this to say, which he put out here, and he titled it as ZANGA and Tinubu's Crumbling Northern Alliance. The 10-day nationwide end bad governance protest that end today, it was the day it ended that he wrote the article, known by the duplicative compound ZANGA in House of Phone, Northern Nigeria, have ruptured the coalition that Bola Ahmed Tinubu managed to build with a portion of the Northern Muslim political establishment since 2014, which put Muhammad Buhari in power in 2015 and 2019, and him in 2023. I beg to differ here. They didn't put him in power in 2023, but what I will agree with is that they gave him the critical number of votes that he needed for him to be able to rig election, because even in rigging election you need a certain number of votes, you know, coming in for you to be able to rig the election. But this ZANGA inspired rupture also reveals the initial precarity and fragility of the strange bedfellows coalition. I don't know why people use all of these big words, academic words. I'm like, at least use simple words that, you know. But anyway, that sounded right. Buhari and Tinubu were previously fierce political adversaries who distrusted each other's motives and undermined each other. The alliance was more accurately a political scaffold that papered over their contradictions for a temporary gain, which was the ouster of Goodluck Jonathan from power. Which is normal everywhere it's done. For example, just look at what happened in France. They saw that, is it right wing, or be left wing, whatever they call it, they say we're going to come and take it power. What did they now do? All the other political parties put their differences aside and put this in. And no matter how people try to deny this, 2024 was the worst we had seen in Nigerian government. And some people, like the other time I was talking to someone, he was like, but it's worse now. I say, okay, well, we in the future then. It's just like you saying that, oh, it will be worse in 2027, so people should like Tinubu now because it's going to be worse later. Or maybe someone would say, oh, but Tinubu's own is worse, so people should have liked Buhari's disastrous leadership. It doesn't matter. At that time, that was the worst Nigeria had seen, and we thought it cannot get worse than that. But of course, Buhari came in and proved everyone wrong, and it actually became worse than that. Just the same way we thought it couldn't be worse than what we got during Buhari, and then Tinubu has come in now and also shown that it can be worse, you know, than that. And then it now comes on us to always begin to get in those people that are really going to work for Nigeria. Let's work hard and get them on and put sentiments aside. Do you see these politicians are able to put sentiments aside and work their own way? We, the people, also must put sentiments aside. Do you want hunger, or do you want Muslim ticket? Do you want suffering, or you want Muslim ticket? Choose. If you choose Muslim ticket, you say you want suffering, and when the suffering comes, enjoy it. Anyway, let me go back to Professor Farouk Perogi's article. He said Tinubu's associates and acolytes in the Southwest, who said they protected Buhari from revolt in their region, even when he bungled governance with uncommon ineptitude, are understandably miffed at the rawness, fierce intensity, and undiluted anti-Tinubu favor of the protests in northern Nigeria. So they knew Buhari was bad, but they were protecting him. Okay. They were protecting him. I have no comment on that one. They are wondering why Buhari, his associates, and even the APC establishment in the north didn't return the favor. The answers are obvious, but people in power are often blind to the obvious, especially if the obvious is disquieting. First, Buhari and his supporters know that the Tinubu group, which had a tight leash on the southwest political space, didn't protect Buhari from the consequences of his infernal incompetence out of any high-minded consideration. They did so because they needed power after Buhari's term in office. It was unvarnished, calculative opportunism, simple as ABCD. Since Buhari's people have no expectation of any kind of requital from Tinubu, like Tinubu did from them, they felt no obligation to protect or explain away Tinubu's own hard-hearted incompetence. The chase often stops after a conquest. Men who woo women can relate to this sentiment. What about women who woo men? Anyways, second, the mystery that Tinubu's simultaneous policies of never-before-seen astronomical petrol price increase and devaluation of the naira unleashed on the country are felt more deeply in the north than in any part of the country because of the pre-existing multidimensional poverty in the region and the pervading insecurity that makes farming almost impossible. And this is actually a fact. This whole suffering is felt more in the north. And then in the north, you have a larger number of people who live from hand to mouth. They don't like have savings, like, okay, well, let's be eating the savings. You're eating into the savings before you begin to feel the reality. Their reality is now they feel it, they get, that kind of a whole thing. So it's really it's quite much. And then the insecurity, of course, is more in the northern part of the country. People can't farm. The average Hausa man, the average northerner, let me not use the word Hausa man, the average northerner has a farm, whether he's a PhD, whether he's a PAMSEC, whether he's a minister, they always have that family farm or something. They always do farming. So it's something that goes around that people do. Like right now, people can't even farm. And so this is a major problem. Beroki now said, money is now both hard to find and worthless when it is found. And food is both hard to find and unaffordable when it is found. This is an unprecedentedly profound, not to mention unsurvivable, existential torment. 2 days after the End Bad Governance protest started, I told someone that many people in the north have been rendered so desolate, so destitute, and so despondent by the economic crunch that they are looking to cash in on the protest to commit suicide by police bullets because Islam forbids suicide. I tell you, that's just it. Other thing, this one that they said the next protest is going to be in is it October? They better get things done because so what is there? The person will say what is there. That's why I said if somebody was saying that when they were doing some things, if it's in the south, this I said no. The difference is that in the north, even when you kill with bullet, people will still keep going. They will tell you after, they will even shout Allahu Akbar while you are killing them. And like he rightly said, Islam forbids suicide. So let the policeman kukuma kill the person. It's someone that killed you, rather than you killing, your own side. Islam teaches that committing suicide guarantees an unfettered passage to the hottest depths of hellfire in the hereafter. I said many people who couldn't survive the pain and humiliation of perpetual hunger might tempt security forces to shoot them, so they could end it all and not fear that they would provoke the wrath of their creator for committing suicide. Of course, this is twisted thinking because of his famous hadith, which every Muslim who took Islamic studies in secondary school knows says, actions shall be judged according to intention. Well, my prediction turned out to be accurate. A friend shared a video of scores of protesters in a northern city chanting, the Yumu atakashemu, the Amabulet yakashemu, that instead of hunger to kill them, it's preferable for bullets, to kill them. Instead of dying of hunger, would rather be killed by a bullet, as they confronted gun-wielding military and police officers. There's also the viral video of protesters busting into the Zamfara State Government House in Gusau and defying, even daring, menacing, gun-toting soldiers who tried to stop them. Several such scenes have been replicated throughout the north. The northern part of the country is different from the southern part of the country. I'm a child of both worlds. I was born and brought up in the northern part of the country. I'm from the southern part of the country. So I always tell people, look, that one, we for SARS, we too like life. In the north, they don't care. You go say, if you want to kill me. No wahala. The mistake the government is making is to dismiss the protests as entirely politically motivated. They are not. Even if they wanted, Buhari and his associates couldn't stop the protests, both because the shelf life of Buhari's magic has expired, his own house was besieged in Daura, and he had been pelted with stones while he was in power in cities like Kano and Maiduguri, where he had been idolized. Factual. And because of the extent of anguish people are going through now, it's unappeasable. It's unappeasable. Apart from the usual criminals of opportunity who exploit every unrest to steal and destroy, the vast majority of protesters think their only hope of living is to risk death and push back at policies that kill them slowly but surely. You can't persuade people who have nothing to lose by dying. That was why American author Dan Groth pointed out in his 2014 book titled A Monarchs and Mendicants, not interested in scaring anybody, but people with good sense are afraid of a man with nothing to lose. Lance Conrad echoed this in his book, The Price of Nobility, when he said, only a fool will underestimate a man with nothing to lose. People who weren't exempt from the rage of protesters can't stop protesters from protesting. The self-inflicted attenuation of Tinubu's political capital in the north plays into the old debate in the southwest about the best coalitional strategy to attain and retain power for the Yoruba. The chief Oba, this is a long read. It's so long. It's almost as if I've not. No, I can't read. Okay, it's I'm almost like I can't read all of this because this is. But it's really making it's really making a whole lot of sense. Going through all of this thing, and also for me the question that we need to really sit down and ask is that, when we talk about this whole alliance, this whole thing in the Nigerian political system, when it's okay, the southern part should do presidency, the northern part should do presidency. The southern part, which part is really the southern part now? And the northern part, which part is really the northern part? Is it going to be southwest, northwest? Or what is it going to be? These are some of the questions that, Nigerians will need to sit down at one time and ask this question. Are some people more northern than others? Are some people more southern than others? Okay. Okay, where was I? Okay. The chief Obafemi Awolowo strategy, which Afenifere still believes in, sees the Muslim North as a competitor and not an ally. The Awo strategy for getting power is to build an alliance between the entire South and Northern Christian. But the Chief Lado K. Akintola template sees the Muslim North as a strategic partner in light of the deep historical and cultural ties that bind Yoruba people and the several linguistic, ethnic and cultural groups in the Muslim North, such as Borgu, Nupe, Igala, and Hausa people. And then he talked about reading his article. This is hardly surprising because even though Akintola was a Christian, he was from Ogbomosho, whose traditional ruler traces ancestral roots to Borgu. Chief NKO Abiola and now President, not my President Tinubu, subscribed to the Akintola template. Abiola was briefly vindicated when he won the June 12, 1993 presidential election with enormous support from the north, including Kano, his opponent's hometown. I was in Kano. How old was I? 18? Yeah, I think I turned 18. I was either 18 or 19 when that happened. Yeah, I was 19 when we did that election and we voted and he won. He actually defeated his opponent, who was from Kano State. But the revocation of his epochal electoral triumph by a northern military head of state and the decidedly ethnic and regional character, the fight for an opposition to his mandate later appeared to justify the distrust of the Muslim North by the Awo group, which nonetheless gave full-throated support to Abiola to reclaim his mandate. Tinubu, undaunted by Abiola's experience, reinvented the Akintola template. It's as if he wanted to prove that he could tread the same path and get the destination that Abiola couldn't get to. He didn't get it, but he rigged his way. That must be why he called his presidential bid Renewed Hope. Abiola's was hope. Like Abiola, he chose a Muslim running mate, and like Abiola, his running mate is Kanuri from Borno. With the Muslim North now souring on him, with the Muslim North now souring on him only 1 year into his first term, and the unlikelihood of his ever recovering whatever goodwill he had from the region if he continues with his economic policies that push people to the brink of the existential principle, the Awo Afenifere group may be having the last laugh. So what should he do? The best option is to discard IMF World Bank neoliberal policies he's enamored with. which have never worked anywhere in the world, and embrace Awolowo's welfarist capitalist template of governance that puts the development and well-being of people at the center of policies. That may restore his goodwill with the North and even earn him more support elsewhere. The other options are non-starters, but I'll mention them anyway. Like Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who won his first term with the support of the Muslim North, but who later used the Awo Afenifere template to get a second term. Tinubu can cut the Christian North and galvanize the South. Goodluck Jonathan used this template in 2011 and won. The problem is that if Peter Obi runs in 2027, and I don't see any reason why he won't, Tinubu won't be able to galvanize the South into a unified voting bloc. And although the worst fears of his Muslim tickets among Christians haven't materialized, Northern Christians are unlikely to embrace him wholeheartedly, however hard he tries to woo them. In other words, Tinubu is cooked, as General Ziz said. Anything short of bringing out the cost of petrol, restoring the value of Naira, and making everyday things affordable will doom Tinubu's first term and deny him a second term, because he is now effectively a political orphan. What do you think? It's a long read, but it was worth it, right? What do you think? Drop them in the comment section. I will continue the conversation from there. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.